Alright guys, today's tutorial is going to be on how to add a new Pam to a zombie and also how to make a zombie go backwards. So you're first going to start by unpacking your group with the method number 1, and then you're going to find the data.json right inside of the packages, and you're going to duplicate one of the pop anims. And as you can tell, this guy already has 2, so I could choose either, but I'm going to go with tutorial because it'll be easier to edit. And then you'll name it whatever really you want to name it. Just remember these names for later, especially the bottom one for now. We're going to need this in just a second, so keep that one in mind. And now we're going to save and close, and we're going to head over to the atlases. And I'm going to split these with res info, and then use number 2. And you're going to go into the sprite folder, and you're going to copy media. And then you're going to unpack one of the Pams, whichever one you're wanting to build your new Pam off of. And you're going to go in here, and you're going to paste your media folder. And while we're at it, we might as well rename our folder right now. So whatever you named the Pam in the data.json, make sure you name it that exact thing right here. Now we're going to actually open Adobe Animate, and let's get started with the tutorial on how to do things backwards. So first, you're going to take the label, any label really, but we should start with walk since it's the most complex, because we have to do something extra with it. And you're going to duplicate it and name it something else, and you're going to move it into the sprite folder instead of label. This will make it so that you can use it as a sprite in your animation instead of using it as the entire animation. You're then going to go into the label for walk, and you're going to delete all layers except the top one, and then you're going to highlight all of the top layer, and you're going to clear the frames. Now you're going to go back to the first frame and put in the symbol that you created earlier, and you're going to set the position as 0, 0. To make it look like it's going backwards, we're going to right-click on it, and we're going to transform and flip horizontally. And now you're going to try your very best to line it up. It might be a little hard to do. I will use another method later in the video, but for now we don't need to use that. As you can tell, I'm just kind of flipping back and forth between these two things, trying to get it as close as I can, and that looks about good. And here's the extra step for the walk animation. So you're going to go into it, and you're going to double-click on the animation itself, so you'll be editing the sprite, and you're going to find the bottom 2 layers, and you're going to select all of the frames in the bottom 2 layers, and you're going to right-click and hit reverse frames. Right there. Now the zombie will actually move backwards, as well as looking like it's moving backwards. I'll talk about ground swatches more in a future video, but for now, that's all you really have to know. Alright, now you're just going to repeat the process with everything else. There is a method to make sure everything's lined up, and that is using the onions. So this little button right here is called the onion skin button. And what you can do is you can make it anchor markers on the last frame of the previous animation, and then that makes it so that you can line up the first frame of your new animation with the last frame of the previous one, and so it transitions very smoothly from animation to animation. And yeah, you're just going to repeat the process of lining everything up and flipping everything backwards with all animations, including idle because of the way that you summon these guys. And after you've done that, you're just going to go ahead and save, and we're going to exit out of Adobe Animate. Alright, now we're back in File Explorer. You're going to go ahead and you're going to pack this Pam. You're going to use number 11, which is Flash to Pam. And it'll just make this brand new Pam, and it won't replace the old one. And because you already have it set in data.json, it will pack. You can also delete the folder in atlases, but you don't really have to do this. It doesn't matter much. And yeah, you're gonna make sure you know the name of the pop anim, because we're gonna be using this in just a second. So this top part right here, this is pretty important. You're gonna copy it. You don't have to copy it, you could just memorize it, but copying's nice. And now you're going to go into zombie types, and you're going to copy the code of whatever zombie you're making. And you don't have to do this in zombie properties. That's the nice thing. And you're going to give it whatever type name and alias you want. You don't really have to give it a type name that's already in the game, because you don't really want backward zombies in the almanac. And you're just going to go ahead and paste the name of the pop anim in the pop anim. And that's the only thing you have to change, aside from the alias and type name. It's really nice. And now you're going to pack the resource group with the zombie you were editing using number 1, because we unpacked it with number 1, so we're going to pack it with number 1. And now you can pack your OBB, put it into your APK, and let's go in-game and see how this looks. Oh wow, it worked! They're backwards! That's awesome! Alright, now let's see how they actually behave, because none of this really matters if they don't walk backwards, if they just look like they're walking backwards. Oh, look at that! They're walking backwards! That's awesome! And we didn't have to apply a condition or anything like that. Just the animation itself changed that. Isn't that weird? As you can tell, their movement's a little strange. That's because the ground swatch doesn't really match the movement. I'll go over ground swatches more in a future video. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Please subscribe. I'd appreciate it.